Good morning. How's everyone doing? Thanks for joining me. What do you think of my little bear friend? He's cute, isn't he? Okay, 1 second. Then we'll see who's in the house. Boom. Boom. Niggy Northern British Gaming, you win the internet for today. You are first. Gal Kononenko. Gal Kononenko. That is a cool ass name. That DMV though. Thank you. Yeah, that's one of my former PT clients. His son is a music producer, and he put that together for me. There's a full mix. It's on some of my videos. Oh, you just heard the full mix, haven't you? Sorry. It's like just a little bit of an outro of my videos. I forget it plays before I come on here, doesn't it? Right through. Anchorad's Life. Good morning to you and your mum, and Fudge. How are you guys doing? Oh, god damn. Thanks for the love and the hench emoji. Great use of emojis, that girl. I can't read that. Is that Japanese? 180 BPM. I guess you're speaking to the speed of the track. I've got no clue. You've got to guess it's at least that, though, haven't you? At least. Gomez is in the house. My lovely Gomez. How are you doing? 12:13 a.m. here. Wow. 5:14 p.m. wherever you are. Where are you? I'm interested. Oh, you're in Melbourne. I thought you were going to be in the in Asia somewhere. Shows you what I know. Richard Benham's there. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing? What are you up to today? Gomez is in Northwest US. I always think you're in Mexico for some reason. I always think that. I know it's wrong now, but I just think it anyway. Aaron Nicholson is in the Northwest as well. Welcome to you. Gomez, just had one of the worst days of our lives, but we're still fighting a way to be homeless. Very long story, mean people. I'm so sorry to hear that. That sucks. That absolutely sucks. My heart goes out to you. I stopped by here right before we go to bed, period, to get a smile and a little bit of happy from someone. Bless you, and you make me happy as well. Gal is Ukrainian great-grandpa. Are you calling me a great-grandpa, or are you one? I have got a bit of grey in my beard now, I've noticed. Maisie McAdam's in the house. How are you doing, Maisie McAdam? Where in the world are you? How's the vegan scene there, and if you are a person of vegan persuasion, how is veganism treating you, my lovely? I like Maisie. That is a lovely name. It reminds me of a kiddies TV show, Maisie Mouse. And my training partner, he dog walks for this lovely dog called Maisie. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you these things. It's just something to say, innit? Before the questions start rolling in. Owen Samurai. Good morning, fellas. It's your friendly neighbourhood vegan Samuel reporting in. How you doing, brother? I had a sort of vision that I was a samurai in a recent meditation. Yeah. Isn't that weird? In my meditation, I was having like a duel with someone, and I faked like a downwards chop, and as he brought up his katana that way, I stepped to the side and did like a belly cut, and I was victorious. It's not very vegan though, is it? Let's face it. So perhaps I sort of lost there. Super chat. Oh, Jamit, you lovely person. Hi, glad to meet you. I'm Jamit. Love your channel. I love you, my friend. $2 Australian. They're on the super chat. That's really kind. Where in Australia are you? How's the vegan scene? And what a cool name, Jamit. I don't think I've met a Jamit before. That's a really nice name. And thank you for being so kind. I really appreciate you, my friend. Anchorad Fudges will thank you, and he is sending some morning twitches to you. Oh, I wish I could meet him. Zel Naga's in the house. Good to see you. Aaron Nicholson. What am I up to today? I'm doing a quick little live, as you can see. And then straight after the live stream, I'm off to the gym. It's chest, shoulders, and triceps today. So upper body push. Then we'll have a spot of lunch with the little lady. I don't know what we're doing this afternoon. We're just doing the final little preparations to get our online nutrition course live on Saturday is what we're hoping for. So we're excited to get that into the world. It's been months of filming, like scripting, filming, editing, and then all the back end stuff, learning how to use the various websites that you need to know, like ClickFunnels and Podia and MailChimp, and how do you get them all to communicate? And it's just not our thing. Like it's got more and more kind of tedious and annoying and frustrating, but we're nearly there. It's just the last couple of things now. We're nearly there. I know some of you guys have seen already, but I'm just going to show you our landing page because I'm really proud of it. Lovely Andre, who is often in the stream, he did the last bit of graphics we needed for that. Let's just get that up. Edit page. And preview. And then I have to go on here, don't I? Full screen capture. Oh, boom. So there it is. So that's what Andre did. You can see our cookbooks, and then basically it's a PDF and 14 videos. So the PDF is downloadable, printable. And so I designed this like landing page. So I had to learn how to use bloody ClickFunnels. Oh, it's so much work trying to learn all these things, but it'll be so worth it once once that's out into the world. Hopefully it'll be a good revenue stream. And then, because we have to work so hard to keep this viable, at the minute, because we sell a few cookbooks, but because we sell them so cheaply, it's hard to keep paying all the bills. But hopefully just getting this course out, if we can sell the odd one or two most weeks, like that should make us quite comfortable, really. So that would be nice. That's the dream. And yeah, it's just so much work. We're just excited to get it out to people and see what people think about it. Gomez let's send Gomez some love. She needs some love, people. She needs some love. I'm going to send some patented hench hearts. These are worth 50 standard emoji hearts. And there's 20 of them, so I don't know, you do the math. I hope that helps in some small way. Bless you. Where the blinking heck was I? Ricky, how can I convince my family to go to veganism? Number one, probably stop trying so hard. Often, it's annoying because it's our loved ones and we don't want them to be the cause of their own death by eating a diet that gives you heart disease, our number one killer. And my experience has been when it's loved ones, like if you change and then you try to change them, like that can cause a lot of friction. And I think just lead by example. I mean, share resources and stuff, but try not to beat them over the head with it. Try not to get like agitated, which is not easy. And oftentimes it has to come from someone else. It's really frustrating. I know, you're a really good person and you're just trying to do something good. All we can do is lead by example and plant seeds. And the more desperate, because if we think of what the animals are going through, we can get so desperate and angry and frustrated and then we can become quite attacking. Not saying that you're doing these things, but most of us go through this stage. And it just puts barriers up and makes it 10 times harder, It's really difficult with friends and family. But I think if you just embody it, if you eat a healthy, nutritious diet, and I just think the more attractive we look as a group, the more happy and energized, the better shape we're in. All these things, shallow things that shouldn't matter, but unfortunately, really, it's the messenger rather than the message that people need to buy into. And if you're really shining, people are going to think, bloody hell, I want some of what that guy's on. What's he doing? Veganism? Let's have a little look-see. Make some delicious foods. Let them try the delicious plant-based foods, but try not to get disheartened or angry or judgmental. But certainly, we're all judgmental, but just try not to voice that. Anyone else got any tips? I don't know how helpful I'm being there. It's not something I've really, because I don't have brothers and sisters. My mum and dad have passed, so it's not something I've actually had to try and navigate. Zalnaga, full-time social influencer. Yay. That description of video was epic. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Chrissy Miles in the house. How are you doing? Good morning. Look at all those happy emojis. I love it. Gal, no, my grandpa. Oh, your grandpa was Ukrainian, right? A lot of carnivore trolls try to call me a grandpa and whatever, and they think they're really hurting my feelings. But I think, bloody hell, I am nearly half a century old, and not trying to blow my own trumpet. It's because I train every day and eat well. I feel like I've got the sort of physique that people half my age, most guys, would probably kill for. So, do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm not doing too bad, and I just laugh. Someone said, why have you got so many wrinkles? And my answer was, because you paid for people to abuse animals. And what I was meant to say by that is you kind of have to see it that way, else you have to admit to yourself that, you're paying to put animals through sheer hell, for the sake of a sandwich that you're going to eat in 5 minutes flat. And they live a short life of absolute misery and then terror. There's nothing more selfish. How can you value a sandwich over someone's life, over thousands of lives? How can... I know I used to do it when I didn't know better, but, the truth's getting out there now. There's becoming less and less excuses. It is ignorance, and I mean the true sense of the word ignorance, ignorance. Nescience is not knowing. That's called nescience, and if you don't know, then you don't know, and, okay, you pay for animal abuse, but you feel like it's normal, natural, and necessary because that's what we've been told. But people, it's more like ignorance now, the true word of the true meaning of the word ignorance. Ignore. You know, we don't need to eat animals because there's all these vegans thriving. You know what they go through because you've seen little clips of it on social media by accident, but you're ignoring it and willfully ignorant. Yeah. Maisie is vegan, and thank you. How do I know the surname McAdam? I think I learned that in history. I think there was a guy called McAdam, and he invented tarmac. And so it was tar McAdam, but then they dropped the Adam bit off, so it just became tarmac. You probably knew that already, and that's probably not that interesting. And again, I don't know why I'm just rambling a load of old nonsense. I'm sorry. Naga, welcome, Gemma. Are you vegan? And you're a vegan in Melbourne. We have a vegan supermarket here. Wow. How good is that? Gomez, because the 1964 Addams Family Gomez. Makes you think of Mexico. I'm a very mixed American woman. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Woo! Owen Samurai, what's your current workout routine? I'm currently doing full body 5 times a week. Wow, that's a lot of work. My current routine is I'm doing upper body push, upper body pull, cycling, and I'm doing twice a week frequency, and then one day off. I take a Saturday off, just do active recovery, just a big walk around some woods and stuff. What was I going to say? So I'm doing a bodybuilding style workout. Presses, bench presses, shoulder presses, all that kind of stuff. Pull ups, pull downs, rows. Bit of isolated shoulder work, like side and rear delts. So, a lot of flies. A bit of arms, extensions and curls. Nothing too... ab wheel rollout I do a couple of times a week just to try and keep the core nice and tight as well. That's about it. Dan, how long have you meditated for? I've just recently started. Nice. I can't recommend meditation highly enough. Good 5 or 6 years. Probably 5 years. More recently, I've got so much into it. I sometimes do like an hour and 11. I do this 3 times a week now. I was doing it daily. This is my breaking the habit of being yourself meditation, where I'm trying to create like a new personality, just more confident and more, just more alive, just less anxiety, just more thriving and doing and just believing and achieving. And I feel like it's going really well, actually. I feel like that's going really well. But then, that's more recent I've got into that. Initially, I just got the Headspace app, and it was just kind of breathing meditation, and that I think that's a good way to get into it. The Headspace app really helped because it was a bloke talking in men's terms, so it sort of resonated with me a lot more, and I got into it. But yeah, I've had great successes with meditation. Lately, I've added in generous present moment meditation. This is some Joe Dispenza stuff, these two, and it's just about being present and staying present and just kind of meditating on like the quantum field, like on kind of void, and just trying to be present so that you can open up like opportunities in your life instead of thinking about the predictable future or the familiar past, which most of the time we're in. That's what we're thinking. That's where we're putting our attention. But instead of putting your energy there, put your energy on the now, and just supposedly you can create wonderful things. And I can believe it. I'm starting to see some synchronicities again in my life. I really got quite spiritually minded when I first went vegan, but then I dropped that on the set of Game Changers. The producers are telling me how the film was more aimed at red-blooded males. And in testing, they saw words like love, compassion, peace, like all this sort of stuff turned off the male audience that they're trying to resonate with, and so they just made it high octane, and I thought, yeah, this is what I'm trying to do. So I kind of took my eye off the sort of spiritual path, but more recently I'm going back into it again, and I'm having these sort of serendipitous moments turn up, just little things, but I feel like the universe is telling me, yeah, you're on the right path again, like just trust in it. The latest thing was we had to get a PO box for our new website or ClickFunnels malarkey. We had to get a PO box, and the address is Paul Street in London. Paul Street. I know that's like a little coincidence, but it's just more and more of these coincidences are happening, and I just choose to, I'm not saying it's definitely a thing, but I just choose to think it's a thing and to use that as positive reinforcement that I'm following my life's purpose, therefore the universe is conspiring to help me, and everything's going to be all right, and we're going to take over the world with veganism. And the more skeptical among you will probably think I'm a balance, but I don't care. Owen Samurai, do you have any guidance on nutrient timing around training? I like to eat an hour and a half, 2 hours pre-workout. Any more than that, and I tend to get hungry, possibly dizzy mid-workout. Any less than that just makes me feel sick. Like you got mass in your gut, in your stomach. You want the nutrients to be seeping into the bloodstream. So if you're eating whole plant foods, hour and a half, 2 hours after you eat, that food has actually left the stomach. It's, at least in the small intestine, it's seeping into the bloodstream and fueling you. So that's the main thing, really. I mean, it's good to have some nutrients fairly soon after workout, but it's not, it's not really a hard and fast rule that you should worry about too much. I think like total nutrition is more important than that timing, but certainly pre-workout, you don't want to be working out on a full stomach. And for me, like I like to be fueled. I had one client who preferred to train fasted, and he did better. So, there is the odd anomaly, but I think by and large, fuel a workout kind of makes sense to me. Maisie, will you be at Bath Vegan Festival this weekend? Yeah, sadly not. We didn't have a load of spare cash at the minute, or I would have loved to have. We would have loved to have. In fact, that was the last festival I went to, I think, was Bath. That was great. Right, I seem to be miles behind. I'm gonna try and just catch up with the chat. If I miss your comment or question, do pop it back in the chat. Yeah, I'm blinking miles behind. Ahmed Gifted is trying to hurt my feelings because I'm not harming animals and he is. So, of course, he has to make me wrong. If you're going to be unkind, you're gone, I'm afraid. And I'm sorry that you're suffering and your suffering is spilling over. But you can't affect me because I'm too emotionally intelligent for that BS. Zell, I like monk. Oh! Zell, I like monk chanting to calm the mind and focus. Okay, I've not tried that. Can be used during a workout. Chore gaming can help calm down the inner chit chat. That's interesting. Chanting, hey. So today I was trying to stay focused and I noticed my mind kept wandering. So I was not really chanting, but the words stay present. I just kept repeating in my mind the word stay present. And then if my mind drifted, then I changed it to surrender or surrender deeper. And I think that helped. But then I'm worried because I'm then focusing on those words, but I'm meant to be like kind of clear in my mind. Like, is that counterproductive? I don't really know. I need to ask Joe Dispenza, but he's probably too expensive to gain an audience with. Dan, I struggle with the spiritual side of meditation or yoga, but really enjoy the mindfulness and relaxation. No, wrong with that. Oh, look at those lovely emojis, Gomez. Ayush is in the house. Soup. So, yeah, Dan, don't force it. Let it be spiritual to me. I don't pretend, but I do feel a bit. No need to poetically word the spirituality with egoic vibe of enlightenment. That was too complex for my simple mind. Aaron Nicholson, do you have any healthy sugary drinks you like? I'm diabetic. Sometimes I need a drink like this for my blood sugar. There's no such thing, I'm afraid. Any free sugar raises your risk for Alzheimer's disease more than eating animal products. This is the latest research. It's in Dean and Aisha Shirzai's book, The 30-Day Alzheimer's Solution. So I wouldn't really recommend it. I would say to have fruits on hand. Alex, thoughts on buying eggs from a local farm where I know the conditions and the people. I've been trying to support local farms as much as I can. Well, they're the most cholesterol-ridden food, so they are seriously raising your risk for heart disease. They also contain a lot of choline, which, the trimethylamine thing has been called into question now, but it used to be the consensus that choline is turned into trimethylamine by pathogenic gut bacteria. And then when that oxidizes in the liver, TMAO, trimethylamine and oxide, it accelerates atherosclerotic deposition. It makes it harder for your body to clear cholesterol from the bloodstream. So from the perspective of health, I would never eat an egg in my life. But I think I'm no expert. I'm no expert on ethics, but I believe, anywhere where they're using chickens to lay eggs, the male chickens would have been executed because they're the wrong breed for meat, and they don't lay eggs. So you're kind of funding all the male chicks that have been killed, either gassed, shredded up alive. Sometimes they suffocate in the big bag they're shoved into prior to you just after sorting. So that's not very nice. If any chickens are laying more than 12 to 15 eggs a year, that's exploiting their bodies. They're ripping the calcium out of them. Their legs break under their own weight because all the calcium's going into these eggs that they produce almost daily. So, it's exploitative. it's harming. I don't see it as ethical in any way, shape or form. I really don't. And it's weird. It's like it's not quite a period. It's an ovulation that comes out of the cloaca, which is the hen's ass/vagina. So there's vaginal fluids, there's poo, there's pee. And people say, oh, so what? Like the eggshell is hard. Well, number one, the eggshell's porous. And number two, what do you think develops first? Like the sort of main part of the egg or the shell? Do you think the shell like starts like at that size and then like the egg forms inside? There now is that the insides forms first. So it's weird. Do you know what I mean? If I popped a carrot in my ass and pooed it out, would you want to eat that carrot? But like this is what the hens are doing. Each to their own. I just find it a bit weird. Owen, oh yeah, what about a smoothie as a sugary drink? Yeah, sorry, yeah, good point, Owen Samurai. Yeah, so if you got the fibre in there, that's not going to cause you any harm. So that's yeah, that'll be absolutely fine. Zell, it's ironic how XRAs now can be used as I can change anything on the spot. It's not my fault. I make this, for example. Good man. Owen, what have they done with the male chicks? Yeah, exactly. They've shredded them up. Andre, can you suggest a good breakfast for gains? I like a big smoothie. I have to get so many calories in, so I do a massive smoothie. It has 150 grams of dates, a scoop of protein powder, a ton of berries, some flax seeds, a ton of chia seeds. Put creatine in there as well because it's my pre-workout one. I like Vivo Life Performs protein, the salted maca caramel one. I feel the maca like boosts my workout. Yeah, that's my favourite one, really. White bread, Hench, what is your guilty pleasure when it comes to food and drink? Not a goddamn thing. Just when you don't have junk, you know, hyperpalatable like processed nonsense. When you just eat whole foods, everything is a pleasure. So, yeah, my pleasure is not guilty. Owen, Earthling Head has a good video on why you shouldn't eat eggs, even if they're from rescue tenders. Better for the chicks to feed the eggs back to them, reabsorb some of the lost nutrients. That's very true. Yeah, they do eat the shells. Zell, Paul, you are very good at summarising hours of vegan documentaries. Owen, Hench, you can never release a carrot range now. Onya Malloy. Onya, that's a cool name. I had a friend called Christian Malloy at school. He did Taekwondo, I did Shotokan Karate, and my other friend Paul did Kuksul-Won. We were all brown belts around the same time, and we used to spar with each other doing classes and getting a lot of trouble. Anyway, that's besides the point. Going to steal the carrot analogy now. You just wouldn't, would you? You just wouldn't dream of it. But yet we eat eggs out of hens' ass vaginas. Alessandro, cheers from Italy, Paul. Keep up the good work. Thank you, my friend. I've got a good friend called Alessandro. He's a masseuse. He's a lovely guy. Lovely, lovely guy. And his little boy, Luca. And thank you for your kind words. Zell Naga, +1 smoothie, liquid milk, you can decide every ingredient. Yeah, and the other thing is, of course, you're getting hydrated and your muscles are they like 70% water if you're hydrated? It's huge. 3% dehydration equals 10% strength loss, according to one study. Zell, his synchronicity, Paul is an angel sleeper. That wouldn't surprise me. Work for the good health ethic. Hell yes. My pleasure is no guilty. You know it. Right, I'm going to wet my whistle. So I'm all up to date with the chat. What's everyone up to today? Have you got any questions for Uncle Hench? And yeah, what have you got planned? What's the deal? Are you excited for the weekend? Who's going to Bath Festival? Gutted I'm not going. Joe Turow seriously does believe that it's coming home. It's coming. Football's coming home. Oh, Ricky, you lovely person, kindly donated $4.99. Who is that? Is he a bison? What type? But he's some kind of bovine, isn't he? Everything I knew about food, such as eggs, was a fat lie. Wasn't it just? Wasn't it just? They're not even allowed to advertise eggs as healthy, containing healthy constituents. The only... Oh, there's protein in there, but you can get protein from bloody anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I get it without even trying. Oh, water buffalo. Yeah, that's right. One of the good things in eggs is that the yellow pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin, these are carotenoids. You know, we make them into retinol, like vitamin A. But you get 100 times more of these particular carotenoids from goji berries. So why do you want the fat, cholesterol, choline, possibly, that raise the risk for heart disease, our number one killer, raise your risk for all-cause mortality, when you could eat some fruit? Why would you eat it? It's got 100 times more anyway. Why would anyone eat an egg? I really don't know. I honestly don't know. People are labouring under this misapprehension that animal protein is so bioavailable and plant protein is rubbish and there's amino acids missing. And there's a new study out. There's a new study out of Rio de Janeiro, and it showed they had athletes, untrained athletes doing leg exercises. They had vegans, they had non-vegans, and they all grew in terms of size and strength in equal amounts. There was no difference between the two groups. So much so that the guy who ran the study, he was on a podcast recently. I think he was on the Plant Proof podcast with Simon Hill. But yeah, he wants to go plant-based off the back of it because he can see there's no difference. And of course, he'll know the health implications and perhaps, doesn't want to kill animals unnecessarily because he's a decent person. So, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, and Samurai, I'm off for a blood test to see if my cholesterol has improved after over 6 months vegan. Tell me about your diet. Are you whole foods plant-based, like eschewing oils, or do you have a little oil, maybe a couple of tablespoons of, an olive oil? Or do you have any coconut oil, palm oil in processed products? Do you have chocolates, like cocoa nibs, cocoa beans, cocoa butter? If you have any of those, you could still have... you could have quite horrible cholesterol, potentially. The more whole plant foods you eat, and the less, of course, animal products. Those 3 vegan, long-chain fatty acid, fat sources that I just mentioned, you should be great. Other things you can do is to up your, what are they called? Beta-glucans. So eating mushrooms, eating things like oats, that can help lower your cholesterol. Garlic. Amla powder is particularly good, most powerful antioxidant in the world. And hibiscus tea, up to a quart or a litre of hibiscus tea per day. I think Richard Benham was already a member. I think Streamlabs is going mad again. Sorry about that. Yeah, tell us the state of your diet currently and let us know how you get on because I would be very interested to see. Zell, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That is a very good point. Yeah, please don't forget that. The reality of things. Hi, you and Gemma ever think of having kids? No, you'd make great parents. Thank you. No, for Gemma, because she has this autoimmune thyroid disease, which she should pass on, that kind of made her not want to. And I think we both living life to the full and... the minute you got kids, your priorities change and your priority has to be them or it's not fair. And, I want to use my time and resources just to further veganism and to just spread this message. And, yeah, neither of us have ever wanted to have kids. The weird thing is I recently reconnected with the son of one of my exes. And, I was sort of there through his kind of formative years. And, yeah, it's I don't know, we have this really wonderful relationship now. We've like reconnected, because obviously when you split up, like you kind of, that's all a bit weird, isn't it? And you lose touch with people. But yeah, we're back in each other's lives now, and it's actually really nice. It feels really quite healing to me, and it feels nice to be able to, I don't know, be a positive influence on someone. And he's a great lad. He's done really well for himself. And yeah, I'm really proud of him. And it's nice. I can see like the attraction to kids, and I do think like, yeah, are we kind of missing out? And then you think, oh, when you're old, it'd be nice to have some kids around to, who are going to care, perhaps care for you a bit, or at least be worried about you. But they may turn out to be complete a-holes and like they're just real pain in your ass that makes your life worse. So you can never call it, can you? But thank you for the compliment. Aaron Nicholson, I'm going to the river for a swim. Lovely. I love a bit of that cold therapy, that cold exposure. I'm going to be getting in the river in the winter time. That's what I'm looking forward to. Dirk Diggler's in the house. Good to see you again. Daniel Jones, yesterday I mentioned dryback. Didn't get a chance to mention he's minimising the mock meats and becoming more whole foods plant-based. Wow, that is very good news. I wonder what's brought that on. I wonder if he's had his cholesterol checked. Aaron, last question before I head to bed. Are you a hot sauce guy? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love all the hot sauce. Dan, my wife and I aren't having kids for the same reason. She has hypothyroidism. Yep, I can really understand that. Owen, I do eat protein powder, multivit, D3, B12 every day too. Nice. I'm not a fan of multis. D3, yeah. B12, yeah. Maybe a DHA. Maybe iodine if you're not taking some kind of seaweed. But other than that, I prefer to get my nutrients from whole plant foods. And there's the science really points to multis. If anything, normally the studies find that they don't do anything for your health or longevity. A couple of studies, if you look at meta-analysis, a couple of studies have found benefit, but a ton of studies have found them to cause harm. Again, it's processed, isn't it? It's not the most removed thing from a whole food. So, yeah, I would choose caution. I would choose to eat real food as like nature intended, Zell, I'm single. I won't have kids. Too many mouths to feed on this planet. Yeah. Foxy Blonde 73's in the house. How are you doing, lovely? From the looks of your avatar there, I don't think 73 was your year of birth. It was mine, however. It was a good year. It was a good vintage. How are you doing, Foxy Blonde? Where in the world are you? How's the vegan scene? How's veganism treating you? Or perhaps you're just vegan curious, or perhaps you've come here to troll me. I don't know. How are you? I'd just like to welcome you to the stream. We like to do that in these here parts. Eliza the Vegan's in the house. Check out her channel. She's smashing. How you doing, Eliza? Owen, not having kids is the single biggest thing you can do to reduce your impact on the planet. Yeah, I wouldn't know about that, but it might be, might it? Yeah, I guess that's another person not taking up resources. Hello, Dan. How are you, my friend? Threxes, hey, I just ordered my Viva Life supplements, omega-3, B12 and D3. How to use them. Good for you. I love Viva Life. They're such good people and such quality, efficacious products. So the B12... if you're under age 65, you can actually just take 2,500 micrograms once a week. And that's what I do. Over age 65, you need to do 1,000 micrograms a day. And in fact, if you're doing it daily, you only need about 50 micrograms daily. Do it first thing. Do it under the tongue first thing before you eat. And it'll absorb better. So there's several ways you can do that, basically. Omega-3 you can take whenever. D3, I mean, that is in an oil. So, ordinarily, I would say if it was a capsule, take it with food, like with a bit of fat in the meal. But yeah, it's probably quite irrelevant, really. And I basically take all mine in the morning so that I know I've done it. Oh, yeah, the omega-3. Personally, I just do that 3 times a week. I take the dosage that it says. I think it's like a pipette full, isn't it? But I take that Monday, Wednesday, Friday because it's so like mega dosed. And I don't think there's a need probably to do more. I don't know. There may be benefit. I mean, but the science isn't like concrete. So you can do more, but I just do that 3 times a week. The others, B12 I do once a week. The D3 I do daily. And for me, I need to do about 3/4 of a pipette rather than half. And it just brings my serum D3 towards the top of range instead of being in the middle like it is if you just do like the normal dose. But then I'm a bit bigger than your average bear, so certainly bigger than that one. Foxy Blonde, I never had kids and I'm too old now. You look like a spring chicken in your avatar. So were you born in 73, if it's not rude to ask? And was it? I was born December 12th, 73. Zell, code Hench10 for 10% off your first order of Vivo Life products. Link below. Give it, yeah, buddy. Thanks, Zell. Joe Turo, what about fortified nooch? What about fortified nooch? Oh, for B12. So, yeah, that's a bit weird. I don't quite understand. Dr. Gregor's got a video. You might want to watch it on B12 from Fortified Food. And he says you need to ingest it like at 3 sittings throughout the day for some reason. And you need like a certain amount, which he calls DV, like dietary value. So you'd probably have to watch that video, look on the pack. But I think you'd have to do quite a bit. Because again, it's best on an empty stomach, you see. So I don't like to rely on fortified foods for B12. Thanks, Zell. Yeah, nooch is great. I had 2 tablespoons this morning on my beans on the toast. Daniel, he said he was becoming more whole foods because he didn't realize how much sodium is in processed food, so he's cutting down the sodium intake massive. Yeah, sodium is horrible, as is, coconut. It would have been a lot of coconut oil in stuff he was eating, which raises your risk for heart disease more than beef fat. So, yeah, I wouldn't be eating that. Owen, I will rethink the multi. I do have a large variety of foods. I've just thought insurance policy. Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I hear you as well. What I would say, Owen, is pop your like daily nutrition into the Chronometer app and just see where you are. And perhaps, if you're a little low on one thing, just see where are you getting that in the diet, or just Google list of most. So I don't say it's vitamin E rich plant foods, and just. It's not. If you're eating a decent amount of calories and you're eating the range, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices, there's very few nutrients that you have to really think about. There is a couple like the vitamin E, which I just mentioned, especially if you're eating lower fat, but it's very doable. You just emphasize things like wheat germs, sunflower seeds, almonds. It's all very workoutable. Dan, adoption is always an option. Yeah, that's one thing we said. If we did decide to have kids, like, why not adopt like someone in need? Like I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Eliza. I'm very, very good. I can't believe an hour's nearly gone already. I'm really getting into these. Like, I used to have a bit of anxiety around streaming on my own. But I think because you guys are so lovely, I've really got through that now, and I'm really enjoying myself. I'm really thriving, so thank you. Foxy Blonde, yes, I was born in... Wow, you were born in 73. You're as handsome as all hell. Where do you get off? I'm 48, I work with dogs, so they keep me young. Yeah, I bet. I work with dogs. Nice. What do you do? Like, are you a walker or a groomer? And how great. Yeah, my partner Gemma became a dog walker. That she started a business, and how great that you can make a living enriching the lives of others, and it's a reason to get out and get some exercise, and you've got no excuse not to. And yeah, I think that's good. Wow. How are you so good looking? I bet it's the vegan thing. Angry vegans in the house, vegan. Scott Johnson, good to see you. Just managed to pop on quickly. Hope everyone's doing well. We hope you're doing well. Have a lovely day, Scott. Thanks for popping in. Mark Crossy's here as well. Good to see you. Jotaro. So back to the B12. methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. Maybe that's a false dichotomy, and maybe I'm going to go with hydroxylcobalamin or adenosylcobalamin. I nearly gave you a trichotomy. Most B12 not sure seems to be. Most B12 on Amazon seems to be methyl. What's the Dr. Go recommend? Cyano. So most people should be fine on cyanocobalamin. That's the basic version and it's the cheapest. However, some people may have, say, like a genetic predisposition where they don't methylate properly. What is that thing? Methyl tetra MT hydro. I don't know why I'm trying to think about this when I've not thought about it in years. Reductase. Anyway, they have a problem. Basically, the cyanocobalamin version is inactive, and it needs to be methylated to become active. And so some people can't methylate, so they would need like a methyl form of folate as well. I think you should probably know all about it if you've got that going on, because you'd be pretty sick and you'd be diagnosed and then you'd be given like a methyl folate supplement from the doctor. I would have thought. I'm no expert. I would have thought. So yeah, apparently the cyano, it works for most people. Some people need the methyl because they can't methylate. But Dr. Greger points to one study where people were given methyl and one of the participants couldn't absorb methyl for some reason and he needed cyano. So I don't know. He recommends cyanocobalamin and he's very steeped in the data. Dr. Clapper, another Michael, who I also really rate, he recommends methyl. So I think the jury's out there. The one I use, the VivoLife one, I think there's a complex of about 3 different ones. So maybe that's a way to hedge your bets. Yeah, I think without testing, like you don't really know. You don't really know, and you just have to pick your favourite doctor and or go with a complex like I'm doing. Vegan Strong's in the house. Oh, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. White bread, they are parents. I've seen their cat. I don't know who we're talking about there, but that's very interesting. Foxy Blonde, I was born in April 73. Yeah, so I'm still 47 for just a little while longer. So you're beating me, but only by a little bit, or so you can catch up. I always get mistaken for someone young. Nice, honestly. I'm old, no meat since a child. Wow. So you were vegetarian, like from what age? And have you gone vegan now, or are you considering it? Tell us the full skinny. I'm intrigued. You look amazing, though, if you don't mind me saying so. Why would someone mind that? As a bloke, you just feel obliged to say that, so to make people feel comfortable, I think. Andre, is hypothyroidism not harmful, really? Yes. I've been diagnosed with it all my life, so I'm pretty much used to it. The effects. Only currently I gather information about it. It's just that all the systems of the body are working kind of sluggishly. As long as you're happy, then I guess it depends on what you mean by harmful, really. If you're happy, then maybe it don't matter to you, and that's a great thing. I guess, are you taking like thyroxine or something? So in that way, I guess it's like you're not hypo because you're putting in some artificial T4. So yeah, in which case perhaps that don't even matter. Vegan Strong, meat tastes nice, help. Well, there's loads of vegan alternatives now which are delicious, and I would say think of the victims and maybe watch some footage or go to a slaughterhouse if you can. And then every time you think about meat, you'll have an image of someone being murdered to death, and that might shift your focus. Andre, or what is the effects? Oh, hypothyroidism. So it lowers sex drive, core temperature, energy, mood. It's basically your body's kind of thermostat. Is your thyroid, little butterfly-shaped gland in the throat there. And you're not producing like T3 and T4. So T3 is the active hormone, which goes to the target tissue and causes the positive effects. T4 is the storage version. So T3 It's called 3 because it has 3 iodine molecules. So if you're not eating iodine, if you're not eating seaweeds and things or something on iodine, you can give yourself hypothyroidism. T3 is the active version, 3 iodine molecules. T4 is 4 iodine molecules. So basically the T4 is going around, then it loses a molecule, becomes T3, and then it causes the effect in the target tissue there. There's also T1 and T2, which we don't really understand. There's possibly something called T0, and so these are all produced by the thyroid gland. There's also something called calcitonin, I think. And yeah, if you have hypothyroidism, I think you slow down the production of all of them. And most Western medicine systems, they only supplement with T4. Some people need a bit of T3. And what's T1 and T2 doing? And is there a thing called T0? And do we need that? And what about the calcitonin? So yeah. Pre-veganism, I would have thought a glandular might be better, because it'll be desiccated, say, pig's thyroid, and I guess you'd be getting all the different hormones, and certainly that's what used to get prescribed. And then someone pulled the wool over the eyes of the sort of medical profession, started selling these T4 supplements and cornered the market, and then got people off the glandulars. But they actually duped them. It's a long story, and I won't go into it here. I probably won't remember it very well, but it was all a big con. But anyway, I suppose at that time I thought that was negative, but now I think it's positive because we're not using pigs' thyroids. So from my vegan perspective, I see that as a lot better. Vegan Mooncat. Hello, Lord Hench of the Vegend. How you doing, Mooncat? Love you, brother. Hope you're very well. I might need your help soon. I got sent... So I did some work. I promoted these products for this brand, and then the lady moved from there to a new company she asked me if I would like some prototype products, like robot vacuum cleaners and things, before they go to market, to review them, not to make a video, but just to tell the company if you like them and what you like and what you don't like. I got sent this camera. It's you can control it from your phone, so we could spy on Cowboy with it. We could fit it to the ceiling, and it's 360. It's got night vision and movement tracking. It's mental. But I can't seem to hook it up to the Wi-Fi, so I might need your expertise again, I'm afraid. JB001's in the house. Good to see you, my friend, Mr. Rendezvous. That's not for me, but hello to you. Yotil, what a great name. Yotil. Best sources for iron. I have an iron deficiency. Been on off vegan for 2 years. Don't have any dairy because dairy lowers your iron absorbency. So I see a lot of vegetarians with iron issues. Now I don't really know what are the best sources for iron because it's so ubiquitous in whole plant foods, and I eat pretty much whole foods plant-based diet, apart from a couple of scoops of protein powder. It's really a non-issue. When I used to be a nutritionist and I'd write a plan for people, even someone on the smallest amount of calories, say a small woman on a diet, it was never an issue. I would at least 3.5x their iron needs, but I can tell you where the majority of my iron tends to come from. So lentils, can of lentils is 67% of your RDA. A can of tomatoes is 65% of your RDA. 75 grams of oats is 35% of your RDA. 100 grams of spinach is 34% of your RDA. And then there's things like kidney beans, quinoa, sweet potatoes are great, kale, mushrooms. Even berries have iron, so it should be a non-issue. It really should be a non-issue. If you're eating healthily, if you're eating the whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, if you're eating predominantly or exclusively of these foods, I would imagine it would be virtually impossible not to be getting adequate iron. And of course, they tend to come with a lot of vitamin C as well, particularly from your fruit and veg, your greens and stuff. And so in that way, it's a lot more absorbable. So it should be a non-issue. So I would question potentially like the quality of your diet. I might be wrong. Maybe you've got some kind of like weird issue going on, but ordinarily like that shouldn't be an issue for most. Foxy Blonde, I take B12 and a turmeric cumin capsule. I don't take omega-3, just what I get from chia seeds. So what should I be taking for omega-3? Yeah, chia seeds are great as long as they're ground or, they've been soaked so they've not got the hard shell. For a female, you want 2.2 grams of DHA per day. So that's like a couple of tablespoons. That's if you're a good elongator of ALA, which is in the seeds, up into EPA and DHA. Some people are unfortunate and they may have a genetic predisposition where they don't produce the elongase enzyme or some other reason where they can't elongate it for themselves. So as a fail-safe, and I personally take it, I do recommend a DHA supplement just to be sure. They're cheap enough and, they're harmless if they're not from fish oil. Then from fish oil, they're quite harmful. So you could consider 250 milligrams of either DHA or combined EPA DHA in an algae oil supplement. Viva Life do 10% off with my code below if you wanted to give them a go. But it shouldn't be necessary, however, for the masses. If you're like if you can convert, but you're like a really poor converter, if you're really unlucky, maybe you might need 3.5 tablespoons of ground flax or chia. There is omega-3 in other foods, hemp hearts, walnuts, some leafy greens. You want a minimum of 2.2 for a female, and you don't want your omega-6 to be like many times higher. You want it really 3 or 4 to 1 in favor of omega-6. And then, because if not, say you've got just adequate ALA, but your omega-6 is through the roof, well, it uses the same enzyme to elongate from the LA up into the ALA, from the short-chain omega-6 into the long-chain animal version, just like we do with the plant version of omega-3 to DHA. So it can get used up, is the point. So you need them more in balance. They don't need to be 1-to-1, because the elongase enzyme has 4 times the affinity for ALA than it does for LA for the omega-6. But yeah, no more than like 3 or 4 to 1 in favor of omega-6. You should be golden. If you're very unlucky, maybe you're one of the few people who needs a direct DHA. And you may not know. You may not know unless you became, you would feel sick over time and it wouldn't be good. So I guess you would find out at some point, but you don't know unless you test. So I just put it in as a fail-safe. I just think, why not? And in some studies we see pescatarians outperforming vegans in 1 or 2 ways. Particularly like, say, the Adventist Health Study, and it was from the 70s. And I think, back then we probably didn't have the knowledge about 6 and 3, and we probably didn't supplement DHA back then. And I speculate, and I would be shocked if this wasn't the case. I speculate that's why, in a couple of ways, the pescatarians did outperform the vegans. The vegans outperformed everyone else in every single bloody way. But I think it was maybe to do with sort of heart and certainly brain health. I think the heart health thing's been disproven. But it's certainly, it's integral to our brain structure, certainly. Zell, Paul, keep up the stream. You're natural, good at live. No bullshit, this is epic and refreshing compared to other actorish YouTuber vibe, erecting non-stop. Thank you for saying that. I'm not natural. I've had to really bloody work at it. I was terrified of broadcast. I basically freaked out as a kid. I was in like middle school and did like a radio interview, and I just froze and went bright red and sweating and shaky and tongue-tied, and that informed me into my adulthood, into my middle age. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not the sort of person who can do that. But, this mission is so important that I can't shut up about it, even if I do, even if historically I have had a bit of a panic or whatever. I don't know. I feel like something's shifted now. I'm doing those Joe Dispenza meditations, breaking the habit of being me. dismantling the old neural pathways and making new ones, and feeling how I would feel, feeling how I do feel now I've beaten it. And I think you manifest it. I think, and I don't think it's perhaps as woo as we think. I think it's like epigenetics and neural plasticity. And if you've not seen Joe Dispenza, I'll keep going on about him. He's amazing. He's married the spiritual with the scientific, and he's got studies and just people reversing all kinds of horrible disease. And We Are the Placebo. That was the title of one of his books. We Are the Placebo. I can believe it. I can believe it. Anyway, I'll stop going on. Oh, we've got a new member. Dan, welcome to the Herbivore Army. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your pledge of support. That is really kind of you. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Dan. That's really kind. Really appreciate it. If it's not for guys like you, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be living my purpose. I'd be, I'd just be in a gym shouting numbers at people. And that, seeing people thrive, get the body of their dreams, reverse disease, through the nutrition stuff. I used to think there's no greater feeling. Well, then there is no greater feeling. But when I'm working one-on-one with people, I can only affect that one person. Like here, I'm talking to 48 of you, and maybe I'll just say something today that one of you will put into practice, and maybe it will save your blinking life, or do you know what I mean? Or maybe a non-vegan's in there and they go vegan, and then they persuade someone else. And, one person I accidentally persuaded was a reigning Mr. Universe. And think of all the people he's woken up to veganism. So you never know. You never know. I'm just very grateful that you guys have put me in this position where I can do this for a living and live a life of purpose. If I had one bit of advice for young people, find your joy, find your purpose, and do that. And if you don't know what your purpose is yet, you just need to try more things. Try all the things out while you're young. You got your whole life, but sooner or later you'll find that one thing that you can't stop thinking about, that you can't stop talking about, that brings you energy, that makes you excited, that makes you jump out of bed in the morning and just be so glad to be alive. And it took me a lot of years. It took me to my middle ages to find it. And instead of thinking, my best years are behind me, I'm thinking, bloody hell, I've had 6 million video views. I've been on the BBC World Service talking to 100 odd million. How many people? 166 million. I think whatever's going to happen tomorrow. It's so exciting. Anyway, I've gone off on a load of tangents there. Let's bring that all back in. What the hell am I going on about? Yeah, but thank you for your kind words, Zell. I needed to hear that. That's really decent of you. You're a lovely person. Vicky Mooncat, I have at least one spare child. Borrow one and realise you're better off without. Kidding-ish. Aww. Keyboard Warrior, are you going to watch the Conor McGregor trilogy against Dustin Poirier this Saturday? Probably not. Where is it? Is it pay-per-view? I feel if Conor loses, he should just retire at this point. He isn't hungry anymore. Yeah, I think you're probably right. He was a machine though in his time. He was into all that manifestation malarkey. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disinterested, but I don't watch TV for a start. I mean, can I watch it online somewhere? Does that work? Yeah, I'd be interested to watch it, but I wouldn't go out of my way. I've done all that fighting malarkey, and I feel I'm more excited by the vegan thing and health. But yeah, I would watch that to unwind. I mean, I'm sure that'll be an enjoyable fight. Hello, mate. What's your ethnicity? I am Caucasian, I believe. Well, none of us are 100% anything, are we? But as far as I know, my ancestors were kind of white. Toffee Girl 321. That is a cool name. And a cute little avatar there. You're as handsome as all hell as well. Good morning. Can dolls potentially become an issue due to B12 analogues? Apparently, I have half a teaspoon every day alongside B12 supplement. Yeah, I used to do that. Number one, I've since found out that we may need a teaspoon of dulse, not just half a teaspoon, to get that 150 micrograms. I think Dr. Greger used to tout half a teaspoon, and more recently he's been touting a teaspoon, unless I've got it wrong and misremembered. But yeah, I think it's a teaspoon. But yeah, I don't take it anywhere near a B12 supplement. So what I actually do, I actually take my B12 once a week now. 2,500 micrograms is the RDA under age 65. You need 1,000 micrograms per day if you're over age 65. So yeah, I don't have seaweed that day, and I have at least double the RDA of whichever seaweed I'm taking. I try to mix up the types to get the different types of fibre to benefit my gut microbiome. But I do those like 6 days a week, and then one day, I just do the B12. So yeah, I don't know that it's definite like science, but Dr. Clapper has sort of alluded to it as being a possibility, and he's good stuff, isn't he? So I do take what he says sort of seriously. Alexis, thank you. I watched a What I Eat in a Day Threads video, so I decided to do the exact opposite of what he does. I am here now. That's not bad advice. Do you know what I mean? If someone stares at the sun, if they tell you that exercise is unhealthy, water dehydrates you, the earth's flat, and yeah, if you just go the total opposite, you won't go far wrong. Till. Yeah, that guy is definitely off his head. Owen Samurai, cheers for the chat. Hench time for work. Have a lovely day, Owen. Great hanging out with you as always. Artra. Sorry, I would say that wrong. Mike the Vegan hit 10 years vegan today. Nice. Yeah, I saw he's uploaded a video. I have to check that out. I think I'll be 10 years next summer. Yukon will... Do you know... Saying about how I used to be anxious of live streams, like solo ones, I just noticed I've done like well over the hour that I was meant to do, and I didn't even notice, and I'm just enjoying myself too. I'm going to go a little bit longer. I can't be too much longer because I do need to go to the gym. I'm going to hang out for a bit more. Yukon Wolves, do you like Dr. Gregor's nutrition fact? It's my favourite. It's my favourite. Just the fact that they look at every single English language nutrition paper to see who funded it. So is there the potential for bias? If studies are funded by the, by the industries that stand to profit from a favourable outcome, they are 4 to 8 times more likely to do so. So you just should immediately discount those. You can't trust them. They see, was it good science, or was it set up in a way to show like a false positive, like to deceive? Or is it good science? And then what should we do about it? And it is simple layman's terms, bite-sized videos, easily digestible, but they also cite every single study. So they're the more academic amongst us. We can go and actually see for ourselves, not have to take their word for it. I can't imagine that they report BS, because obviously they will get found out and then they lose credibility. So yeah, I have a lot of faith. I mean, I know Dr. Gregor is vegan, but my point is, perhaps he's not biased because he's vegan. Perhaps he's vegan because this nutrition saved his grand's life, and she got sent home to die in her 60s, and she lived into her 90s after 3 heart bypass operations. So why wouldn't you buy into the Blinken nutrition? And do you know what I mean? He says coconut oil is worse than beef fat in terms of heart disease risk. He says that if you're eating predominantly whole plant foods with meat on a rare occasion, you'd be hard-pressed to say that is less healthy than some vegan who eats junk all the time. And it's true. No doubt there's a tiny little bias there. I mean, we all suffer from that. But I like to think that his... I'd be surprised if he knowingly kind of printed or reported anything, like, very wrong, because... Yeah, I think, he is a doctor, and I do believe that his... priority is human health, because he's said that oath, hasn't he? To do no harm. So, yeah, I love it. I'm not saying he's infallible, but he's pretty blinking good, if you ask me. He's my hero, and when I'm famous and I'm on stage interviewing all mad celebs, he's my first pick. And I'm going to tell him what a positive effect he had on my life. He inspired me to become a nutritionist, and I've seen people reverse all sorts of disease. It's amazing. Mimi Boom. I always go well with whole foods plant-based for about a month. Then I have a bad week and I have the energy to make whole foods plant-based dishes. Sorry, that's on the junk foods. What can I do when I have one of those weeks? Okay, so are you dealing with a bit of like chronic illness or something? In terms of energy, try to sleep well, try not, to manage your stress, that sort of thing. Getting the sunlight in your eyes first thing when you wake up, getting the sun set in your eyes before you go to bed. That helps you to sleep better. Cold shower in the morning to raise your cortisol at that time to give you energy for the day. That's the same reason you need to get the sunlight in your eyes, by the way. Hot bath at night so then the drop in temperature when you come out will set you up for sleep. That's all very key. I think sleep is so important. But yeah, if it's like an ill health type thing, there's vegan whole foods that you can have in stock, isn't there? Like nuts and seeds, dried fruits, fresh fruits, like they take no prep. You could just cook up like big batches of whole grains in like a rice cooker or something, have that on the side. Can of beans, you just need to rinse them. You've got your rice or whatever, a bag of salad, you don't even got to chop it, just rip open the bag, a little bit of hot sauce or whatever. There's like a proper meal, a couple of nuts or seeds, a piece of fruit. There's a really nutritious meal. You've got all the, put some herbs and spices on. You've got all the whole plant food types. Batch cooking is great as well. So when you are feeling particularly great, like spend a couple of hours, making big pots of stuff that you can then freeze, have them in the freezer on hand, and then if you take a dip, just start going through those. I think there's way. It's just being prepared and having foods in your house, that you can just pick at, that don't take much prep. And I hope over time, as you stick, the more healthy lifestyle habits we have, like nutrition, like meditation, so you're getting rid of the stress, like sleep hygiene, like having community, like being of service, all these important things to our well-being, like getting in nature, breathing in like the oils from the trees, which raise our natural killer cells. The more you take care of all those things, like the more, your general well-being goes up. And I hope that you stop having so many backslides. That's the dream anyway. What was the catalyst for turning vegan? I just saw my partner Gemma went vegan, whole foods, plant-based for health reasons. I saw her flourish. Then she showed me research that she was looking at, and it really said the more animal products we eat, the quicker we contract and succumb to the diseases of affluence that kill 3/4 of us. And it's not just animal products, processed junk as well, but most people who eat, basically nutrition, I'll put it this way, nutrition is the number one cause of death in the West. It kills 3 out of 4 people, and it's animal products, it's processed junk food like refined sugar and stuff, processed packaged foods, versus if you're eating whole plant foods. I just saw the data, and I was eating more animals than anyone as a bodybuilder. Like I went mad, like 500 grams of animal protein a day, and I thought, wow, like I'm going to drop dead tomorrow if I keep going at this rate. Well, not probably tomorrow, but I felt like I was probably living on borrowed time. And I tried it out, and to my amazement, not only did my performance in the gym not suffer, it was boosted. I had more energy, more volumization of the muscles, better recovery, less soreness, less tendonitis, and the only negative, like if you're eating healthfully, that's a lot of volume of food to have to cram in if you're trying to grow muscle. But it's doable if you emphasize like protein-rich foods, some fats, the calorically dense whole plant foods, the higher carb ones like tropical fruits, dried fruits, legumes, whole grains. It's very doable, and you don't need to be the cause of your own death. I don't want to be the biggest, leanest corpse in the cemetery. I want to be able to walk around and enjoy showing it off. So, to be fair, like that was probably the catalyst for me turning whole foods plant-based. But for actually turning vegan, which was your question, accidentally I saw what animals go through to end up on our plates. When I was researching, trying to find recipes and things, looking on different websites, I found Gary Yourofsky's adapt.org, and I just saw this cow being like funneled in onto the kill floor, and I just saw the fear and the panic and the dread, and I saw that she didn't want to die and that she knew what was coming, and It decimated me. I couldn't believe that I was complicit. I used to pay for that to happen. I was just truly shocked to the core. And so I would say I then became a voice for the animals. Like I saw the ethical thing. And that was a good couple of years after I went whole foods plant-based. I just was not privy to that message. Like no one told me. Great question. I'm going to do 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes. Get your comments or questions in. Then I really better go to the Jiminy Cricket. Keyboard Warrior. My father was born in Lincolnshire. Met my mother in California. And the girls love his accent. But asked why I don't have it. I have to tell them it isn't hereditary. But at least I can say mate. That's very cool. Foxy Blonde. Yes, was veggie since school days. Though I never drank milk. Wow. Only been vegan for 1 year and need advice on supplements. Okay, I take B12, as I said. How do I get omega-3? So B12 is critical. D3 in the winter months as well, vitamin D. If you're getting plenty of sun exposure, then you can cease it. For most adults, about 2,000 IUs a day is optimal. So if you're not getting the sun on you, then take a supplement. Omega-3, yeah, if you're eating chia, have I answered this question already? But I hadn't answered it, and so therefore you put it again. Anyway, at the risk of repeating myself, if you're taking your ground chia seeds, you shouldn't need it. 2 tablespoons, maybe if you're a poor converter, 3.5 tablespoons should be adequate. But don't have more than 3 or 4 times the amount of omega-6 relative to omega-3, or that won't work. But if not, you can just take a DHA supplement, EPA DHA. 250 milligrams a day is the RDA for that. I take it as well, just as a fail-safe, personally. But you shouldn't need it unless you've been like very unlucky. Vegan Mooncat. If meat is so tasty, eat boiled chicken, fish without spice or seasoning. It tastes upon to be cooked there, in my opinion. Yeah, that's true, isn't it? I think I'm miles behind, aren't I? I think I'm miles behind. Guys, again, I'm going to skip forwards. If I miss your comment or question, pop it back in the chat. Hopefully, I get it. We'll get to it this time. Mimi's going to try batch cooking. Awesome. Yeah, awesome. It's such a time saver. It doesn't take that much longer to make 5 lots of something versus 1, really. You just chop them for a little bit longer. Ignat, did you see the video by Surge where he killed innocent chickens and ate them and drank their blood? Blah. No, I didn't subject myself to that. What a freak. Do you know what I mean? Anything for like 5 minutes of fame. Just low level. Just total. I don't know. I try not to say anything too nasty, but just low vibrational. Just negativity, just destruction. Like just childish vulgarity. Maynard Spaceship. I love that name. How to use B12? Easiest is get a shot, I think. If you can't manage swallowing. Yeah, shots are good. Or sublingual, like a tincture under the tongue. That's what I use. Maynard Spaceship. Gary Yovsky was the original catalyst. Heard the message on time, and that's all it took. No denying. Yeah, he's good, isn't he? That speech he did in Tel Aviv, amazing. Aslan's here. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Hench. I've been out for a while. Haven't been feeling the best as of late, so I haven't been in live streams for the past few. How are you feeling now, my friend? I hope you're okay, bless you. You seem like good people, so I don't like to think of you suffering. Alan's in the house. As always, good to see you. Maynard Spaceship. When he dies, I hope he's sent to a parallel universe where chickens run the show. I love that. I love that. All these people saying that it's fine to eat meat. Would you be willing to swap places? It's easy to say that as the oppressor. Like, would you swap places with your victims? Like, if you did think in your next life you'd be reincarnated into the body of a pig and you got to go in a gas chamber, would you think twice? The answer is yes. Hey, baby. How are you doing? Yeah, I'm pretty blinking good. Mantis. Hi, Paul. How often do you buy organic? Not as often as I'd like. It's not readily available where I am. Like, finances haven't been amazing this last year. So I can't really afford to. But from the perspective of health, I would certainly like to. I don't think you should limit your produce just because it's conventional. And I think the benefits outweigh the constantly negative aspects. But yeah, like why add that if you didn't have to? Aled, I'm really getting bad nightmares for some reason. Going to sleep at 5 a.m, getting up at 9 a.m. Wow. Yeah, that needs dealing with, doesn't it? That needs dealing with. CBD oil is good for sleep. Helps you to relax. I'm a big fan. Link below for 30% off. Something you can stack to help with sleep is L-theanine is good. L-theanine, that's a compound out of green tea, which is very relaxing. And I mean, you should get adequate magnesium from your diet, but some people stack L-theanine with magnesium threonate, which is a version of magnesium that finds it easy to cross the blood-brain barrier. And that can really help you to relax and sleep well. She's yoinking it. She's having a little nib of CBD. Clickety click. Right, the chat seems to be drying up. I really should get to the gym now, so I'm going to sign off. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, nice, Mimi. Some people do ZMA as well, which is zinc, magnesium, and some sort of B vitamin, and that I've used that in the past, and I found that quite efficacious as well. Anyway, yeah, must stop chatting. Must get to the gym. Must build muscles. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks, moderators, for keeping us troll-free. Don't forget, our cookbooks are still half price. Where do you get your protein and virtuous vegan desserts? Healthy whole foods, delicious, nutritious, support your goals in the gym, or even if you're a couch potato, or if you want something delicious as a dessert, but you don't want to make yourself die. These are some good books that you might enjoy. She'll try and get on tomorrow morning briefly. She'll try maybe about 8 a.m, 7:30, something like that. And then we'll be back tomorrow night, 6 p.m, me and the little lady. Don't forget, it's the cook along. If you want to cook along, we're doing the lentil bolognese out of our Where Do You Get Your Protein cookbook. I've put the ingredients on the community tab. If you go to my community tab now, you can see what the ingredients, get them in, cook along with us. If you want to, we have a lot of fun doing these cook along streams. And Saturday, we are hoping to launch our online nutrition course, which is a load of videos and big PDF, and you get our cookbooks. So if you're interested to really, it's basically 20 years of knowledge and experience, my nutrition knowledge, Gemma's cooking knowledge, all condensed down into one course. So we're launching that Saturday. So keep an eye out on our social media. You might follow us at hench_herbivore, Gemma_herbivore on Instagram. And yeah, we'll put links to that if you want to check it out. And if we can sell a few of them, we might be able to have a couple of days off and then not panic so much about money and just make inspired videos that we want to make and just take the pressure off after to keep selling so many cookbooks. That would be good. Anyway, I digest. Thanks for hanging out. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. If you're new, we'd love you to become part of this wonderful community. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon to be notified of new videos and new live streams. Oh, and one last thing before I go. I dropped a new video yesterday. It's doing pretty good. You know that dietitian, Abby Sharp? She really sort of talks smack about vegans oftentimes, criticising their nutrition, saying that fruit's bad for you. So I dropped a video doing a response to why she'll never be vegan. I'll pop that in the chat now. Check that out if you want to. Even if you don't want to, leave it playing in another window. That just helps the old algorithm. But I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, it's enough chat. Hope to see you tomorrow morning and have a lovely day. Thanks for hanging out. I love you very much, everyone. Bye for now. Bye-bye.